Ever heard of him?
I think he's one that who said that the American-based basketball, the world champion of what?
Yes.
Of the United States? Actually, before this, I was not a big fan of LeBron James. Actually, I kind of like, I'm like a troll for LeBron James.
Why?
Because LeBron James always self-proclaim himself as the GOAT.
I cannot believe there was this whole global debate that was going on with, her gender and her identity. I think if it was a transgender and it was a male going into this space, like a female sports, especially when it comes to physical contact, I would feel like that wouldn't be the right thing to do. But I feel like if you're a lady, then yeah, you deserve to be there. So I feel like both of them won because as far as I know, and from what we saw, they were women all the way through. I feel like that doesn't disqualify them from being a woman.
Hello, everyone. This is Johnny, and welcome to today's show. And also our host.
Co-host, I'm Wade.
You're the host.
刚才不小心插嘴, I'm sorry.
Okay, so today we're talking about Olympic Games, that just happened.
The Olympics that just happened.
Yeah,
yes.
Olympic Games. And did you watch any games?
You know what? I personally got into an event that I don't usually watch.
Ooh.
And it is sprinting.
Sprinting.
Yeah.
So why did you fall in love with that?
100 meters, 200 meters. Now, the reason why I started to really watch it was because my friend told me about a show on Netflix.
Oh,
It's called Sprint.
Mm-hmm. Oh, called Sprint.
Yep, the show's called Sprint. And so the name gives it away. It's all about the sprinters of the 100 meters as well as 200 meters, men and women division. And so, you know what? I feel like Netflix actually does a great job at creating documentaries to really draw the people into the story.
Oh, so that's a documentary.
Yeah. So remember, I feel like a couple seasons ago, Drive to Survive, the F1 Formula One documentary on Netflix, it kind of blew up because all of a sudden, I mean, obviously F1 has always been around. It's always been this expensive and crazy innovative and, like luxurious event.
Get your adrenaline pumping.
Yeah, it gets your adrenaline pumping. And this, once they started the documentary and they started talking about each individual race team, their leaders, their principals, their drivers, then you really got hooked into the story.
Ooh.
So after that, I saw that tennis also did something similar. Netflix did Breaking Point with tennis. And then Sprint is the newer one that was about running.
So what is so special about the Sprint documentary?
Well, so honestly, I think it's storytelling, right? With any event, there is your, hero, let's say, the person that you're following, their story. They're the ones that you're trying to understand. What was their struggle? How did they get here? What's their story behind, their success or failures? And so I feel like Netflix does a really good job in looking at each individual and then picking their story and then sharing it so that it makes sense in when we watch the event. Then you're like, whoa, this person have went through all of that. He's competing with this person. Like, I didn't know anything about sprinting. I didn't know that America and Jamaica had this big rivalry. Did you know that when it comes to sprinting?
I didn't know that.
So America and Jamaica are usually the top few teams, especially when it comes to, I think, the female division.
America and Jamaica.
Okay. And so when they do like relay races, they're always competing with each other. When it comes to, even when Usain Bolt, you know him, right?
Bolt, yeah.
Come on, like Bolt is the
flashlight.
Yeah, he's the fastest. But when he was still on scene, because he's retired now, he was that fastest person. But now it's an American men whose name is Noah Lyles.
Noah Lyles, yeah.
Ever heard of him?
I think he's one that who said that the American-based basketball, the world champion of what?
Yes.
Of the United States?
United States of America?
Yeah, he was.
World champion of what?
What?
United States of America?
And the basketball players say that he is just a wannabe.
Yeah.
He's just a wannabe.
No, so, okay, honestly, that is a point that I feel like is interesting.
So he's American?
He's American.
Okay.
So I know you're a basketball fan, right?
Yeah, I'm a die-hard basketball fan.
So you
NBA.
don't like what he said, right?
Oh, of course not.
You know what? I actually, after watching the documentary, because I will say first, Noah Lyles is a very cocky guy. Super cocky.
Super pompous.
Super prideful, just like thinks he's the best.
Yeah.
He made this statement about like, dissing the NBA and like sort of saying like, why do they call themselves world champion when they don't? It's just a league in America. And he's like, the sprinting thing is actually, world champion because you're facing the world, which I think there is a valid point.
Oh.
But I would say he was trying to draw attention.
So
maybe
American always, get
compete.
the top, get the top place.
Yeah, when it comes to the runners, very good runners. And so he's actually one of the fastest. And even in this year's Olympic, he came out first for the 100 meters. However, usually he does best at 200 meters. And he did actually lose this year to, I believe, a guy from Botswana. So represent Africa. But yeah, the sprinting thing was what I was watching for the most part and got me pumping. What about you?
Basketball,
Basketball.
For this time, because it was hosted in Paris, that was like usually a lot of times the games were played at 3 a.m.
Oh, the time.
An ungodly hour, right?
Yeah.
It was an ungodly hour for me.
Did you wake up for the games?
Actually, for one of the games, I woke up, in the early morning, in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. because I set the alarm clock for 3.
Dedicated.
Yeah, and I woke up. Actually, at that time I was really a little bit tired, and I managed to stay awake for that game, and I was just lay in bed.
Well, so who were you watching that you woke up?
And that one, that game was like United States versus Brazil. Versus Brazil, yeah. But for the important game, the United States versus Serbia, for that one I missed because I was so tired.
Yeah, I love watching basketball as well, but mainly the highlights. And I cannot believe, that America was so close to losing.
Especially, I'm a big fan of Steph Curry.
Yes.
And that game, Steph Curry just carried the whole team on his shoulder with he knocked down 9 3-pointers.
Honestly, they're saying that it's because of Steph Curry that America kind of won this time because he really carried the team. If it hadn't been
for Steph Curry, they wouldn't have won the gold medal.
Crazy.
To say that's not to put too fine a point on it.
Yeah, but now I believe it's their last time at the Olympics.
Exactly. That's why that's the highlight of it. Steph Curry, the combination, killing combination. Steph Curry, KD. Kevin Durant, and LeBron James.
Wow, and, big three, man. That's
actually,
crazy.
Before this, I was not a big fan of LeBron James. Actually, I kind of I'm like a troll for LeBron James.
Why?
Because LeBron James always self-proclaim himself as the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
I mean, he's good.
But for me, 80s,
are you an MJ?
Yeah, I'm MJ, Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant, Shaq O'Neal, Steph Curry.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, those are my favorite basketball players.
But this time you changed your mind.
I never like LeBron James.
So what changed?
For this time, I think he did quite a good job, a fantastic job, and a stellar performance in organizing the whole team in terms of offense.
Okay.
Yeah.
LeBron, if you're watching, Johnny's rooting for you.
Hey, give me a call. Give me a call, LeBron. Brown. Give me a call, man.
All right. So I think obviously the Olympics is an exciting time because you bring the best of the best together, right?
Yes.
And so we have 2 gold medalists. Mm-hmm. Or 2 项目, 2 events that won gold medal.
Yeah.
It's the men's doubles.
And also the boxer, Lin Yuting.
And the boxer, Lin Yuting. Yeah. Now, very quickly, what was the whole debate? I cannot believe there was this whole global debate that was going on with, her gender and identity.
Exactly. I think that was brought up by the famous writer named J.K. Rowling, who is also the author of the famous bestseller, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Which I have never read before.
But you watched the movies?
No.
You have.
I never watched the movie.
You've never watched Harry Potter?
Never, ever. Yeah, I never do that.
Is that the truth?
Exactly. I'm not that into fantasy novels or movies. I'm a very down to earth kind of person.
That's a little shocking.
Very practical.
I feel like you're just not speaking any truth right now. Okay, let's move on from that. Let's talk about our gold medals.
Yeah, the gold medals.
The drama, yes, there was a lot of drama surrounding this. And
from Taiwanese point of view,
what do you think is our Tony's?
We were just we are rooting for her.
Yeah.
That she deserves the credit.
Yeah, she did
whether they're
brilliantly.
The XY chromosomes.
Yeah, I think there's so many details that people are trying to pick at and like say this and that and that and that. And there was obviously two boxers besides her. The other boxer was also mentioned and was also her identity was also questioned, which I think I'm going to speak for myself here. I think if it was a transgender and it was a male going into this space, like a female sports, especially when it comes to physical contact, I would feel like that wouldn't be the right thing to do. So I feel like earlier when we were talking, we were saying perhaps maybe start a separate category.
Yeah, separate
for people who, have made the transition. But I feel like if you're a lady, then yeah, you deserve to be there. So I feel like both of them won because as far as I know, and from what we saw, they were women all the way through, right? From when they were childhood. They might have more testosterone because of their genetic build up, but I feel like that doesn't disqualify them.
Yeah,
from
you mentioned a word,
woman.
Testosterone. So what is that in Chinese? Maybe people are curious about that.
Testosterone is basically 荷尔蒙, right? But the male version.
睾固酮. Yeah.
睾固酮. We're not biologists. We're not doctors. We just want to congratulate her for winning a gold.
Even women have testosterone.
Yes, testosterone, but
testosterone.
Just a smaller amount.
Small amount, okay.
But besides her,
from my point of view,
okay.
I think it's kind of fair because even though she has a small amount of testosterone, she is not that buffy or sinewy or very too much strong for women.
Yeah, I think mainly, obviously, the Olympic Committee would have come up with certain criteria that they have to meet in order to be a part of the sports.
Yeah.
And if they all met that requirement, then I feel like fair and square, they won.
Fair and square.
And so congratulations.
It's not like she has a like major edge over other boxers.
Yeah. So we have to congratulate the other gold medalists, which are
Lin Yang pair.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I think it's a historic thing that they did, right? Winning one the last Olympic and then winning one again this time.
Exactly. They won the gold medal and what is that one? The previous one, Tokyo Olympic Games.
Yeah.
In 2021, simply because of the pandemic that happened in 2020. Yes. It was scheduled for 2020, but because of the spread of pandemic, COVID-19, it was pushed, delayed until 2021, and they won the gold medal.
Yeah,
but the thing is, they suffered a severe, slump.
Oh, so they made, the peak, and then right after they didn't do so well with other events.
Yeah, they didn't do so well after the Olympic Games in Tokyo. So, before this time, people were
doubting them.
Even themselves, they say, okay, maybe we're just lucky enough to get through the round of 16.
Maybe it was a fluke that they made it the first
fluke.
time.
Then maybe it would be a fluke to get to the round of 16, 16强.
And then they took the crown again.
Yeah, maybe some people ask them, what is the tip behind that?
Yeah, what would be?
I think that's also a very good lesson here. Whenever you are faced with something like self-doubt, a lot of professional athletes, they have this skill. They can imagine, they can try to picture something in their mind that can motivate them to achieve better.
To
aim better, aim higher.
Right, and I think that's the power of, sort of seeing it, because sometimes people say you have to see to make it happen, or see it to believe it, right? And it's like you have to first see it in your mind. So some athletes, like you're saying, they would actually envision crossing that line first, getting that winning hit or whatever it might be. Like they envision, and then it becomes reality.
I think the same goes for Stephen Curry as well. Because for the first few games, the first 7 or 5 games, Steph Curry was a totally disaster when it comes to shooting the 3-pointers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he only knocked down only maybe 1 of 5 or 6 in total for the first few games.
Unlike him,
but for the last 2 games, he knocked down how many? 17
that is
3-pointers
crazy
from downtown.
That is
so I think
crazy.
He also has the killer's instinct.
Yeah, and also, we talked about Noah Lyles earlier, and yes, he's everything that everyone's saying: arrogant, cocky, prideful,
Yeah.
annoying sometimes because it's
Pompous.
over. But I will say it's the same idea. To be the best, you need to have some sort of crazy belief that you can do it, like crazy confident in who you are. Because anytime you make one mistake, the media or the people around you will start saying you're not able to do it. You're going downhill. You're fill in the blank.
Yeah,
so
the
if you don't have
self-doubt
the
is-
same confidence
Yeah.
and you don't drive that for yourself, you'll be affected by other people. Now, Noah Lyles, I remember previously he took a picture and he said he's going to reach this goal. This is going to be his minute for running the 100 meters, the 200 meters. And it's amazing to watch how he was able to win the goal, becoming a 2-time champion, but obviously not necessarily reaching this particular goal. But I think it's the same idea that we have to have the confidence to believe in what we're saying, to believe in what we want to achieve, and you have to first see it up here. So those are the winner's mentality.
Yeah, so I think the bottom line is that do not let your self-doubt eat away at your confidence.
That's a good way to put it.
One more time, because this is very important. Let me just say it like Donald Trump. Do not let self-doubt eat away at your confidence.
Okay.
Bottom line is that.
All right, Mr. President. It was a good time to thank you for joining us on this FUNDAY Chat. I think we'll end it off over here. Hope you stay motivated because we want us to have that winner's mindset. Whatever work you're doing, whatever discipline you're trying to get into, remember it starts up here. So be confident, believe in yourself, but obviously put in the work because that's what they actually did. You can't just say, believe out of thin air. You have to believe, put in the work, combination creates a winner.
And put it into action.
Put it into action, exactly.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Learn something.
Well, we'll see you next time then.
Bye-bye.